Hey there, and thanks for clicking on the link. This is the final video of Project ATC10K, and this is the race video. Right now it's Saturday, August 31st. That means tomorrow is September 1st, which is the race date for Around the Crown 10K. It's been my focus race for the past 8 weeks if you've been following the series. So Con and I are going on a little walk this morning. So the weather is looking a little bit toasty for tomorrow. At the start time, it's supposed to be 72 degrees in Charlotte. And the humidity is going to be upwards of 90%, so there'll be a dew point of 70 degrees, and that's going to end up with a feels like temperature of 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than I would want it for most races longer than, say, a mile. But going to still try and stick with my original goal, which is get as close as I can to 37 minutes, which I haven't done since I've been a Masters runner, since I've turned 40 a few years ago. My Masters PR is 37:30, so I'm going to try and beat that. If it's an outstanding day, I might challenge my lifetime PR, which is 36:41, but we'll see. I'm going to head down to pickup after I walk Con here, and then see if I can get a haircut to shave those last few grams. And then see you tomorrow for the race. Well, I have mine and 4 other packets, so ready for the carpool tomorrow. We'll lay my gear out tonight and then see you in the morning. Okay, here is the gear flat lay for Around the Crown 10K. And if you've been following the channel, there shouldn't be any surprises here. I'll be wearing the Gooder Wrap G style sunglasses. I'm gonna carry the GoPro with me. I'll be wearing a Reckless running singlet, and this is one of the lighter weight Reckless running singlets I have, because like I've said, it's gonna be pretty hot and humid. There's my bib number. Injinji no-show lightweight toe socks like I always wear. I'll be taking a caffeinated Morton right before the start, more for the zing of the caffeine rather than the fueling, and you don't really need much fueling for a 10K. The North Face BTN split shorts, they're pretty much the lightest shorts I have, and I will be racing in the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris. I'm going to warm up in the Hoka Skyward X, and I'll have some other layers for before and after, but that's the flat. Race morning, about 25 minutes to the start. Starting to get pretty crowded.
We also have Ken Stillwater from Aquafina from Pepsi. Thanks to William Subaru for being here.
I just got my own personal adjustment. John, my chiropractor, and Robert does it all. Right. 30 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Across the start line, come on. Run! What's up, man? mile 2 mark, 12 flat, at 6-minute pace. A little slow. We'll see what we got today. Mile 3, 17:45. Seems a bit fast. At the bottom of the Queen's climb. Reach the top. That says you conquered the climb. I told you not to get on YouTube today.
Well, it is what it is. You'll get a chance.
Mile 5 and 30:27. Let's go! Hell yeah, man. All right, the thing is done. Did a 37:16 about. That's about where I stopped my watch. Almost got my goal, my A goal, but I did get a master's PR, so we'll be happy with that. Passed a whole lot of people, but did not get past once we got out of the crush of people. So I'm happy with that as well. This will be a good recap. All right, so unexpected, but I got second in my age group. I was 51st overall, 47th male, so I did a little bit better in the standings than I thought I would. And they were trying to get rid of donuts at the end after we did our cool down, so it did pretty well. Good job too. Okay, it's race recap time, around the crown 10K style. So yeah, it was very hot and very humid today, as we knew it was going to be. Luckily, a lot of the workouts and a lot of the time trial I did was in similar conditions, so was as prepared for it as I could be, although it's still tough to run a 10K in 72 degrees Fahrenheit with 93% humidity. Anyway, went out kind of hot, but you know, among all the buildings in uptown Charlotte, it's really hard to get a good GPS fix, so I was kind of going by feel. Went by the first mile marker in 5:47, which I thought might have been a little bit fast. I didn't think I was running that fast. It was certainly sub 6. And took the hairpin onto the Beltway, the highway, I-277, and most of I-277 until you get to the Queen's Climb is pretty fast. Went through the 2 mile mark in 12 flat, which is a 6-minute overall pace. That seemed a little bit more realistic. I might have been going a little bit faster than that. It was kind of a theme for this whole race. The mile markers were a little bit off from what my watch was saying, and vice versa. I'm not sure which one was accurate because GPS is bad in Charlotte. Anyway, went through the 3rd mile marker in 17:45, which would have been goal pace. That one seemed like it might have come a little bit early. I don't know if I did a 5:45 mile for mile number 3 or not, but it was closer to where I wanted to be, knowing that the Queen's Climb was coming up. And the Queen's Climb it's a tough one. It looks long, but it doesn't look as bad when you're at the bottom looking up. It's not till you're really halfway up it and you get to the steep part where you realize, yeah, this is a bad climb, and I'm still on it, still got plenty to go. And there's no real discernible apex to it. It's like once you get to the summit, it's kind of been rounding off for the past, few dozen meters or so. So once you're only sure you're over it when you're going down the backside, and you don't go down much of it on the backside, just a little bit until you get to the off ramp that gets you back into town on Church Street. So I know I lost some time there. I didn't realize real time how much I had lost because I refused to look at my watch on the Queen's Climb. It wasn't going to tell me anything useful anyway, so I just said go by effort. And I missed the mile 4 marker, so I don't know what that split was. So I was going by feel and looking at my instantaneous pace as I was running back through town. I had been passing people for almost all of the race. Once I got past the initial crush, no one passed me, and I was passing a lot of people, dozens of people. This one guy ended up running back and forth with me for most of the last 2 miles, and there's some great video of him there. I forget, I never got the guy's name, unfortunately, so we'll call him my guy. Anyway, he and I were trading back and forth, talking each other up, and really helped each other dig deep for those last couple of miles, including the 4th Street climb, which is another climb in the last mile that is not nearly as bad as the Queen's climb, but it's not something you want to do with the rest of the race already on your legs. And my guy got out ahead of me on that 4th Street climb, and I was like, well, good for him, you know, let him, he's looking a lot better than me. But then once we turned right on Graham and we were less than a half a mile from the finish line, he just died. He pulled up. I could tell he was spent, that climb spent. I tried to get him to come along with me. He wasn't coming along with me. So I focused on finishing my race. I knew I was out of contention for 37 minutes, but I didn't know how close I was going to be to that Masters PR of 37:30. Coming around the last big block and then the final straightaway when I could actually see the clock, I was like, I'm going to get this Masters PR. It's just by how much. Crossed the line with a chip time of 37:16, so it's a decent Masters PR there. Not a lifetime PR, but got at least one of my goals. And then I was 51st overall. I think I said 8 weeks ago at the beginning of this block that if I got my goal time, I'd maybe be in the top 60, possibly flirt with the top 50. 51st overall, 47th male. That includes all of the elites who started in the corral before us. But I got second age group, and I was not anticipating getting an age group award at this race because this is not only the biggest race in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's also the most competitive. So in that deep field, I'm very happy with how my results were. And I think qualitatively, I ran a very good race because, like I said, I was passing dozens of people throughout, and I never got passed by anyone. So that means with regards to the rest of the field, I was racing well. All right, so that is Around the Crown 10K. Now, shoe talk. I wore the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris, and if you are familiar with my channel, you've seen me race and do workouts in this shoe a lot. And I would say, if I'm gonna go so far as a superlative, this is probably my favorite race shoe for any distance 1 hour or under, and maybe even up to a half marathon. When I start to get to a half marathon, I start thinking more about marathon racing shoes to choose for that distance. It would be course dependent, but this shoe performs so well. It's got more pop than my best pair of Vaporflies ever did. It seems to work with my stride. It is lighter. It fits my foot well. It grabs pretty well. I haven't tested it in really wet conditions, but it was exactly what I wanted on my feet for this duration of race, and I felt the pop the whole time, even when I was trying to slog my way up the Queen's climb. I will say that I waited as soon as I got home because I was sweating a lot into these shoes, and these shoes were about 1/3 of an ounce heavier due to being sweat logged, and that's about 8 or 9 grams heavier per shoe, which I don't have much of a baseline. When I did that with the Cloud Boom Strike, it gained 6 grams. Of course, those are different days. So, but they were still well under 200 grams, even after being logged with sweat. And I didn't feel all of that on the run. So definitely still at the top of my list for a really poppy, go fast race day shoe that I'm not sure if I would quite use for a marathon yet. That is my shoe talk. Thank you for watching my Around the Crown 10K recap, and thank you to all of those who've been following along with the whole 8-week training series, the Project ATC10K Series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or share the video, and ding the bell for notifications. And after recovering from this one, I'm going to be starting a whole new training blog for the Houston Marathon, and probably doing some shoe reviews along the way. So thanks, guys. I will see you on the next run.